So in other countries, white social norms are still the biggest problem because they're the main colonists on the planet. Pretty straightforward. For those of you who don't understand that because you think like a child, see the movie Tarzan or the cartoon Tarzan and try to understand what it's saying. Now, when we look at America, it's very painfully obvious the main problem in America is white social norms. And when you think about it, you might say, wow, if you say that, people are going to get angry, right? So you get some kind of redneck that comes into your mind who says, if you don't like it, go somewhere else. And in his own country, he has like the lowest social status. No one likes a redneck. No one likes a racist piece of shit, what have you. But yet he thinks that that's the answer. And that's part of the greater kind of white social norm response. And you'll get some kind of people saying, well, it's a problem mocking you. Well, I was in high school. They used to do that. And that's not the answer either. You see how they have a bunch of failed responses that are socially normative in their culture. Okay, so instead of solving the problem, you get what I might call the white runaround. Okay, so the police don't care, the military doesn't care, the biker gangs aren't talking to you and they are acting like jerks, they don't care. We go through the list, right? The politicians don't care. The church doesn't care. They say turn the other cheek because they don't understand their own story. If your brother sins, rebuke him. If he repents, forgive him. Another part of the story says if they won't listen to you, treat him like a tax collector. And tax collectors weren't treated well. And Christ is a character of the story. He's rebuking people left and right. So is John the Baptist. So they don't understand the situation. Now, I'm going to end this by saying this, when they put the crown of thorns and the cape on Jesus, even if the crown of thorns didn't draw blood in the story, keep in mind it's a story, it's still a very serious insult. As they're mocking God and I at the end of all possible righteous paths, it defines them and their offspring according to their groups, according to their individual acts, according to their deeds. And obviously my authority is the highest authority. So to mock me as an individual is to mock God. And keep in mind that every single day, thousands of whites and Jews, crypto Jews, what have you, they die. Thousands of, or at least hundreds of LGBT people. They die and they go to hell, along with everyone else outside the divine order. Some of them probably worked on this case. And they die whimpering like a punk because they refuse to be a man. Learn from the example that God and I set when we take their souls after their flesh dies and send them to hell. Learn from that example. My authority is the highest in this land. It goes God, then me, and then there's an infinite gap, and then everyone else. It is fucking retarded to mock me because you're some punk-ass frat boy, or some racist occult Jew, or some arrogant English worm. It is to their extreme shame and disgrace. And many people have noticed their failure. In more than one way, in more than one sector. Like the worms on duty right now trying to act bad. Do you really think you should be telling me what to do, you bitch? Is what I would say to them. Period. It's important to note that part of the reason why they do this is to come between us. I'm not a racial supremacist. I'm irritated because they're insulting God and I take that very seriously. And they put a kind of racist overtone into it. It's a racial insult. Okay. So God doesn't have flesh. So God isn't, flesh-based black person. God is the spirit of righteousness, universal pinpoint and moral precision, and the source of the spirit, right? God and his Holy Spirit. So when they insult me because God chose a black person and they're from the cult of the flesh and they're Satanists and their flesh is white and Jewish and token minorities are whitewashed, Jewish washed, crypto Jews at times, what have you, I start feeling very irritated and resentful. And I'm not supposed to turn the other cheek. See Revelation 19, right? Out of his mouth, out of his actions, out of his speech is this sharp double-edged sword. Okay? I'm not supposed to back down. And I go out of my way to make sure that you know that I'm not racist, which is an unnecessary overkill. I don't need to do that. You should be able to understand what's going on the first time. But I make sure that people know that they're trying to make it a racial issue. I'm responding and judging them according to their deeds as individuals and as groups. Okay, and that includes token minorities, what have you, and anyone else rolling with it. Everyone outside the divine order.